I don't really know where to start, Anthony. When you look back at it and when you guys get together and talk about it, does it still seem very surreal?
Yeah, we're constantly looking at each other, like, waiting to wake up, like we're still dreaming or something like that. Almost every day, it's something that we never would have thought we'd be doing, from the book to the movie to Clint Eastwood to actually starring in the film. It's just none of this we ever thought we'd be doing, that's for sure. And
of course, Spencer, the film starts way back at the beginning when the three of you were all at school together and you go through sort of your life growing up. What were you like? For people that haven't seen the film, what were the three of you like as kids?
I mean, we were, we would get in trouble from time to time. We were just regular kids. We liked to play war, fight with each other, just do stuff like that. We would get into a little mischief around the neighborhood, but overall, pretty good kids, I think.
Spencer, I wonder if you can take us back to that journey. You're on this train, you've been travelling, you've obviously had an extraordinary adventure, travelling around Europe, mates together. You're on the train from Brussels to Paris. Where were you? What were you all doing? What were you chatting about? At what point did you realise something was terribly wrong? And what did you do?
Well, Anthony and I were actually asleep at the time, and we were actually sitting in this order, except there was an aisle between us. And Alec was on his phone texting. And I mean, the first thing that alerted Alec was a gunshot, but he wasn't sure if that's exactly what he heard or not. And then all of a sudden, a train employee came running down the aisle past us, and that commotion woke us up. And we all turned around, and the first thing we saw was the terrorist coming into the train car, shirtless, with a backpack strapped to the front of him, nearly 300 rounds of ammunition, and he was picking up an AK-47 off the ground and loading around into the chamber. And I mean, it was pretty obvious at that point what he was there to do. And so we looked down the aisle, and we kind of saw that he was fumbling with the rifle a little bit, almost as if he had jammed it or something was wrong. And so we kind of saw a moment, and Alec hit me on the shoulder and said, "Let's go." And I took off down the aisle at him. He was able to aim the rifle at me, pull the trigger, but it was a faulty primer, so a pretty much faulty bullet. Gun didn't go off, and that gave me enough time to make it to him and tackle him so we could put a little beat down on him.
It's just extraordinary to hear you talk about it like that. I imagine, I'd like to think at some point you've had a drink with your mate next to you, Alec, and said, "I noticed she tapped you on the shoulder and sent you out first."
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I wasn't about to do it.
Yeah, me and Anthony had a little bit of wine, so we were primed up, ready to go.
It's, Alec, watching that all unfold in the film is just extraordinary to try, and you guys clearly, with the help of some of the others, have tried to piece together exactly what happened. I imagine that for a good while afterwards, the experience for the three of you was very, very hazy, trying to work out what had gone on and what had happened and how you eventually managed to overpower the terrorist.
Absolutely. I mean, that was kind of, we all had our own memory of what happened, basically. So, especially when we were doing the movie, it was nice to kind of work through everything, and with each other's stories and the police reports and witness statements, we were able to piece together pretty much what exactly happened and in what order they happened. So that was a very nice experience with the movie, to be able to kind of get all that figured out once and for all.
I know that a couple of you have served in the military, but this guy was armed with an AK-47, a pistol, a knife, a hammer, petrol. I mean, you saved lives, many, many lives that day, but you risked your own. Were you frightened in that moment, or was there something else going on in your heads?
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we were all, very scared and a little paralyzed at first, because you just can't believe that this is actually happening. But, at the end of the day, I think we really had no options but to act. I mean, you're on a train going 200 miles an hour. You're in the middle of the countryside. This guy's got an automatic AK-47. And, we only really had two options: either sit there and wait to get shot, or get up and try and do something.
It's just extraordinary. And now the three of you are movie stars in your own movie that's been directed by Clint Eastwood. So this story doesn't get any less surreal, Spencer.